Okay, good Thursday morning. How's everybody doing out there? You know, it was a quiet winter up until the end of last week, but this is the week where we've been playing a game of catch up across the area with our snowfall. And you know what? I'm willing to bet that by the time we wrap up this winter storm that's going to be coming in tomorrow and tomorrow night, we may be all caught up with our snowfall and back to normal to this point in the season. Hi, I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Balon here at the First Alert Weather Center. Thanks for tuning in, whether it be on Facebook or on YouTube or Roku or using our apps. We want to make sure we're able to reach you wherever you're at because, you know what, you're not always in front of the TV, and it's nice to have instantaneous weather delivered right to your device. So we want to give you some deeper discussion on what's going on with this winter storm. It'll be the second one this week. And this is the storm that's going to be actually stronger of the two. And it is one of those storms where, you know, I'm a little bit concerned about how it's going to go for Friday night, especially if you have any travel plans. So let's go to the maps. Here's a look at First Alert Viper Max. And you can see that the snow that's across the area, it's coming down still in the Green Bay area and over towards Door County. We still have some steady light snow in around Fond du Lac and east over towards Sheboygan County. The back edge of the morning snow is now over top of Shawano and Clintonville, and that's going to be wrapping up here in the next, I would say, half hour if Viper Max is detecting this properly. Most of us have picked up a fluffy 1 to 3 inches of accumulation. Wouldn't be surprised if areas along the bay into Door County and Kewaunee County are on the higher end of that, because if you look closely here, and let me see if I can get this to work here. See that little red arrow? You can almost see some heavier bands where you get the blue color in here. There's probably a little bit of lake enhancement going on across the bay, probably a little bit here in Kewaunee County as well. So, you know, you might find somebody in those areas getting up to maybe 4 inches, but I think 1 to 3 is pretty much going to fit the bill for most locations. So the snow is going to be winding down between now and 10 o'clock. The roads will continue to improve. The side and secondary roads might still be a little bit iffy through the midday. The afternoon looks drier, but not completely dry. There's probably going to be a couple flakes, maybe just a couple spotty light snow showers. Skies will be cloudy. If you are lucky, you might see a few peaks of sun. If so, go get yourself a lottery ticket. We'll have a high of 32 degrees, so temperatures will still be on the mild side for this time of year. All right, now let's start talking about this winter storm. The next weather maker is this winter storm that's coming in tomorrow through Friday night and wrapping up early Saturday morning. Both those days are first alert weather days. We're going to get heavy snow and high winds, and the National Weather Service is also on top of the situation. Yesterday, they issued a winter storm watch. That's the powder blue counties that are on the map in front of you there. And this is going to turn into a winter storm warning. The question from their perspective is which counties to include in that warning. I'm sure they're going to go through the latest data later today and make that decision. Don't be surprised if that warning goes out sometime mid-afternoon. I mean, I'm not in their camp, so I don't know that for certain, but based on you know, what they normally operate things. And so once that winter storm warning goes out, make sure you've got our WBAY First Alert Weather app handy, because that'll go right to your phone. That way you know whether you're in the warning or not. But it looks like for Friday night into daybreak Saturday, 6 to 12 inches of snow is a likelihood. And I put the plus symbol in there because, you know what, there's always that outlier. There's always that spot or two that gets just a little bit more than what we suspect. Because, you know, when you're forecasting such a big area, I mean, we're forecasting the weather from like Iron Mountain, Michigan, all the way down to Fond du Lac and Sheboygan. It's a large area of real estate. It's hard to cram the forecast inside a shoe like that, you know. It's not a one-size-fit-all forecast very often than not. So somebody usually falls outside that range, and I suspect I know where that's going to be, and I'll share that with you in just a second. So the snow we had overnight is moving away through lower Michigan over towards New York State. Notice the snow starting to build out towards Colorado, Wyoming, the Nebraska Panhandle. That's the next winter storm, which is starting to gain energy and shape. A lot of jet stream energy is going to flow up over the Rockies and down into the plains and grab moisture that's available. And that storm is going to take a very similar track to the storm that happened earlier in the week. But two things are different. One, the storm we had earlier in the week had a little bit of a lull. Do you remember that? We had some wet snow and then a break, And then the snow was heavier in the afternoon and evening. And that snow that came in the morning was kind of wet and slushy, and it was a lot of melting and compacting, and it really kind of messed up the snowfall totals a little bit. This storm probably isn't going to have a lull in it. It's probably just going to be a steady blast of snow, and the temperatures will probably be a few degrees colder as the heart of it comes over top of us. So that means the snow is probably not going to be as wet and packing as the previous round, but probably a little bit more fluffy, which could help enhance some of those snowfall totals. Look at me, I'm trying to flex in front of you here. But you see what I'm saying? That's going to probably boost the snowfall totals just a little bit more than the previous storm. So here's First Alert Pinpoint Predictor. You can see the snow showers starting to wrap up across the area. The midday, probably dry, a lot of clouds, maybe a couple little hole punches in the cloud deck where you see just a little hint of sun. That's an iffy thing, though. Here's 5 o'clock this afternoon. There could be a couple flakes or maybe a spotty snow shower here and there, especially in the north, but that's nothing too serious. Tonight, a couple flakes, mostly cloudy skies. Now, here we are, 7 o'clock Friday morning. I think the morning drive is probably okay. I'm not saying there's not going to be any snow, but there might be a couple flakes out there, but the roads will probably be in good shape for the most part Friday morning. But look what happens. The snow comes up from the south, and it comes into Fond du Lac, Oshkosh, Sheboygan first, and then spreads to the north. It'll be in Green Bay by the time you get to lunchtime tomorrow. And then Friday afternoon, the snow becomes more widespread. It becomes heavier. The drive time home, assuming you have to work a full day tomorrow, it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be slow, it's going to be slippery, and like the past storm system, it's going to be windy. So look at the wind gusts Friday evening. This is around 9 p.m. Out of the northeast, around 40 miles an hour, gusting near 50 miles an hour towards the lakeshore. This is probably going to cause near whiteout conditions. We may be close to blizzard-like conditions as the storm comes through. You know what? I know, Friday night, people want to get out. They want to go out and do things, right? They want to go to a restaurant. They want to go to a club. They want to go do this and that, go to a bar. Do you really have to? I mean, I'm just saying tomorrow night's one of those nights where, you know what, just get your significant other, get a movie, and just go home and just watch the movie and just let Mother Nature do her craziness outside. Just go home and just have a relaxing evening. If you don't have to travel tomorrow night, you probably shouldn't. I mean, unless it's really necessary. We have people who have to travel. We have first responders who have to do their job. We have snowplow drivers, they have to do their job. But as an adult, knowing this storm system is coming your way, I can't tell you what to do. You know, you're an adult, you'll make decisions. I'm just recommending that it may not be the best decision. And if you can stay at home, if you're able to, perhaps it's a good idea. The snow continues Friday night. It wraps up early Saturday morning. You know, by the time we get to Saturday morning, the wind will slow down a little bit. And I would recommend that you plow and shovel on Saturday. Because once this storm moves on out, we're going to have the coldest air so far this winter. And that snow, perhaps 9, maybe 10 inches of it in the Fox Valley, is going to harden up and become even more difficult to move if you wait till Sunday or early next week to move. Notice on First Alert Pinpoint Predictor the varying snowfall totals. Lighter in north central Wisconsin, a lot of 3, 4, 5 inch totals. Then you get the 6+, Lakewood, Wapaka, and east. The heaviest totals, probably closer to the lakeshore, but I want you to look really closely on our map here. The heaviest totals that I think are going to be a few miles inland, Kewaunee County. Okay, computer, you can do better than that. Give me a second here. The computer went forward and I didn't want it to go forward. I think the heaviest snow is probably going to be a few miles inland from the lake because there might be a little touch of rain mixed in along the immediate Lake Michigan shoreline. So Algoma, Two Rivers, the totals may not reach a foot, but a few miles inland, interior Kewaunee County, interior Manitowoc County, interior Sheboygan County. That's where I think those totals could reach and exceed a foot in a relatively narrow band there. So again, across eastern Wisconsin, 6 to 12 inches, but there'll be some spots, especially a few miles inland from the lake, where you could exceed a foot. Needless to say, your severe weather outlook, it needs to be in the high category. Friday night. I'll bring it down to the moderate category for Saturday. Both those days are first alert weather days. And then after that, remember I said the coldest air so far this winter is coming our way? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. High temperatures in the single digits, wind chills, teens, 20s below zero. So much for a quiet winter, right? Right now, we're mainly in the upper 20s. We're at 28 degrees in Appleton. It's 29 degrees in Kewanee. Green Bay is sitting at 27. Wind chill 16. North wind's a bit brisk at 13 miles an hour. That wind is going to slow down a little bit as the day wears on. So today, snow showers now and then a chance later on. Fluffy 1 to 3 inches. Most of you have already gotten that. Cloudy, high of 32 degrees. Tonight, mostly cloudy, few flakes. An evening low of 23. The temperatures will slowly rise around and after midnight. And here it is, without further ado, your First Alert 7-day forecast. There's that winter storm Friday going into Saturday morning. And then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, a dry but frigid stretch, highs in the single digits. Look at those low temperatures getting down to about -10. Wind chills at times about 20 below. It's possible that those days there, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, could become First Alert weather days. It's kind of dependent whether a wind chill advisory gets posted by the National Weather Service. A little too far to be certain about that, but I just want to put that on your radar that that's a possibility. Monday, MLK Jr. Day, a high of just 3. Brr. So depending on how you're watching this video stream, you may or may not have our WBAY First Alert Weather app. Please download it if you haven't done so. We are updating this thing constantly. We're sending multiple videos during the day. That way you get the freshest weather data possible. The hour-by-hour forecast works no matter where you are. You don't have to be in Northeast Wisconsin to get a forecast on our app. If you're going to Dallas to go see the Packers-Cowboys game, you know what? That's going to come in handy, especially since down there they may have their own wintry weather towards the end of the game. A wintry mix is possibly going to hit northern Texas early next week. So that's something that can help out people who are going to that Packer game down there. WBAY First Alert Weather. So type that in when you go into the Apple App Store or into the Android store, and hopefully you can find it there. And we appreciate you, trusting in us and our forecasts. So I'll be back on Action 2 News mid-morning. That's at 9 a.m. That's coming up in about roughly 15 minutes. And meteorologist Bo Fogel, he'll be in the Weather Center in just a few minutes. He'll be in to take care of Action 2 News at noon and at 4. You know what? Bo's a really good guy. And you know what? Our engineering staff, they really love Bo. In fact, you know what? There's a guy in our engineering staff, and his name is Jordan. He and Bo are they're like the best of friends. They come in here and they tease each other and they needle each other, but it's all done out of love. They get along so great. Anyway, Bo's a good guy. He's going to be polishing that forecast, and if there's any flaws in my forecast, he'll cover those up, and we'll make sure the forecast is getting more fine-tuned as we get closer and closer to this storm system. All right, again, thanks for watching our video stream here, what's going on, and if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to us, and make sure that you and your family are preparing for this storm. It looks like a pretty big one, and it's good to prepare now and not wait until the last minute, because time is a-ticking before this thing actually arrives. It'll be coming in gradually tomorrow morning, and we'll really feel it for Friday afternoon, Friday night, and it'll wrap up Saturday morning. All right, thanks for watching the video stream. Have a good Thursday and take care. Bye.